And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. Joined again with Sean Gervais from OrbisX CRM, as well as Marshall Hill from the Pints and Polishing Podcast, as well as Hyper Clean Car Care Products. Whew! You can see that Don Julio's already hitting me there. But yeah,
Already hitting you. Well, I've already been hitting the Whataburger.
yeah, nice.
For all you California people that are that in and out stuff, I don't know about all that.
Uh,
Have you watched the new show Landman?
No, I saw it pop up the other day. Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton, you got to watch it, man.
Oh shit.
We went
Okay.
once we started. I haven't stopped. So we finished. We did it. We did some binge watching over the holiday, right? Like,
Nice.
not much to do than sit there and watch TV. So let's do it.
Hell
Turn
yeah.
down Landman. Listen,
Holy shit.
Whataburger, Landman, got to celebrate. Got to celebrate.
Damn, yo, that's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna check that out because man, you know what happened? There was a lull for like movies, TV shows, everything for like the
Mm-hmm.
last couple months,
Right.
and then they just started boom, 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 boom,
Mm-hmm.
dropping some stuff. But the one thing I hate that they're doing now is the only in theater stuff. And don't get me wrong, they've done that for a while, but
Well, not for a while. I mean, this is actually kind of
it's
new, isn't
somewhat,
it?
yeah,
I
it
mean,
is
it
somewhat
used to
new.
be only
Yeah.
in theaters because there wasn't an option. But
Hmm.
in a Corona,
That's true.
we got the option.
Everything was boom right there,
Yeah, it
and
was
then they took
the
it
new
away.
option.
And then they
Yeah,
took it
so now
away.
they've had to get people back to theaters. Could you imagine how many theaters went out of business?
Oh man, yeah. Well, here I know that there were a few.
Mhm.
There was not like the major, like the Cineplexes here are still obviously kicking around, but there were some not small, but they weren't on like
Yeah, the
Cineplex
smaller
level.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And one of them converted into a Cineplex, and then the other, there were two. I want to say family owned. I don't know. They used to show more independent films, and then once in a while they would have something that was like big screen type stuff. But wiped out,
Yeah,
just
those are all gone.
gone.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a one of those dollar theaters. Those
Oh
were
yeah,
always
yeah,
fun, right? That
yeah,
got wiped out at Corona. We
yeah,
had
yeah,
another theater that had moved out to this the area called the Riverwalk. Well, it's not Riverwalk. We don't call it that, but it's like Riverwalk that you find. Oklahoma City has it. You'll find Riverwalk. San Antonio has a really good Riverwalk. If you ever
Okay,
go down there, you can actually sit
nice.
out on the river, eat. It was
Oh
really,
shit,
yeah, it was a really
oh, that's
much better
nice.
river experience than we have.
Okay, yeah.
Oklahoma, our river's not exactly the most amazing.
Okay, can you
Um,
swim in it though?
um, no, I don't think you would want to this far
No.
down the
Okay.
mountain.
Oh, okay,
Mm-mm.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
maybe.
the
Yeah.
water down this far of the mountain,
It's you're
and
not
there's
getting
no mountains
not
in
getting
Oklahoma, so you got to kind of understand it's got to come from,
somewhere
yeah,
to that. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Fair,
and
fair,
you don't
fair.
eat the fish either. Mm-mm.
Oh, damn.
Oh
Okay.
no, Arkansas River? Hell no.
Oh, man, it's crazy what we've done to the rivers though. Like throughout the world, just globally, like it's just nuts. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I mean, here in Canada, we have so much water, so many rivers, lakes, everything. A lot of them you can swim in. Certain times of the year they'll have, notices like don't swim, there's E. coli or something like that. But then 2 3 weeks later it's fine, supposedly. A lot of them, yeah, the fish is kind of dicey, they got three eyes and shit like that. But there's still a lot here where, yeah, it's natural, you can just swim in it, drink it, all that kind of stuff. Not there, huh?
Not in
Damn.
Oklahoma.
You have to get
Mm-mm.
yourself a life straw. Have you ever seen those?
I have seen those. Those
Yeah,
are pretty
yeah.
cool, aren't they?
I have
Huh?
one in my truck. I'm like worried the end of the world's gonna come someday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be ready. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry. It's just gonna be me, OrbisX, and everything else going to shit. But yeah, they actually work really well too. But I will say this: I tried it. I tested it with a thing of coffee because I was like, let me see if you can actually drink this. Like I just put coffee in water, so it was a mix. But I said, let me see if I can actually drink this and it not like it filter out as much as it can. I don't know why I was expecting it to
Not
not
taste
taste
like
like
coffee?
coffee. Yeah, because like obviously it's gonna
You think
taste like
river
coffee.
water's not going to taste like the
Man,
river?
yeah, it was horrible.
It's,
Horrible.
it's a magic pencil thing, huh?
Yeah, yeah. For
Magic
some reason, in the
straw.
commercials, they made it look like, they put in gross water, it comes out clean. So I was like, oh, okay, it's probably gonna taste like water. Tasted like mud. It was horrible.
Filter doesn't mean.
Yeah, I know. And I get the principle of it. Just in my brain, for some reason, I thought, oh, this is probably going to taste nice now, you know? It did not. It did not.
Marketers, huh? Marketers.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Hey, what can you do? Yeah, but I actually got one of those. My wife got it for me, and I got a like a bottle filters. I think like 1,000 liters. I don't know how many gallons that is, but anyway, it's like a water jug you can take with you. But I tell you, man, some of the best water I've ever had. Like crazy. But anyway, yeah. That aside, yeah. How was your holidays? Christmas? Everything was good.
Yeah, we just went over to mom's. She didn't. We just
Nice,
hung out, right? Cooked some food. Well, pretty boring. I'm not.
nice.
I'm bah humbug anyway. I didn't
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
really.
You're like me. Like we dressed up the house. We had people over, but it's
Oh,
like,
I don't dress up the house.
oh
I
no?
didn't.
Oh, well, I don't, but my wife loves every holiday. We have storage in our house with there's I think there's like 20 wreaths, like different holidays. There's one for like Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, you name it. She loves it. But we had people come by our house during COVID, or sorry, after COVID, and they told us, they said, "Oh, we loved your decorations your wife always put up in the windows. We would walk around here when we weren't allowed to be around people, and it just brightened our day and stuff, you know." And at the time, 'cause me, I don't fuck with neighbors. We don't need to get to know each other. Like, just because we live near each other, like I don't know, that's just how I am. And so me, I was like, yeah, yeah, that's nice. All right, beat it. You know, he kept wanting to stay and talk longer. So I was like, oh fuck. So I went, got my wife. I'm like, hey, there's some of your fans are here. You know, I was like, go handle
You
this.
talk to him.
Yeah, you talk to him. You know, like I don't want any part of this. Like if it was me, if I was solo, I would have zero decorations on the house. It would just, I wouldn't even turn on the lights outside. I'd be like, no one's home. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, me neither. Like I don't. I got asked this year why I don't put up Christmas lights. I'm like,
Mm,
I've never. I've never. I think
yeah.
one, maybe 2 years. I've ever put up Christmas lights, and I
Okay.
just
Yeah.
was like, so I was like, wait, I got to get them down now. It's been like 3 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
huh?
Ah. Yeah. I
So
don't put
then
them
I
up
became
either
the
for that
second
reason.
time. I became that guy that still had his Christmas lights up, and
The
I didn't
whole
take them off because then it gets too cold, right? Like if
hmm
we're about to hit our cold season here, like as
Okay,
soon as
yeah.
Christmas, like as soon as January hits, it's
It
cold,
gets
cold
cold,
here.
yeah.
So, well, for us it's cold. I mean, for you guys it's summertime, but
Yeah, yeah. I'll be out there in
you know,
shorts. Yeah, it's fine.
yeah.
Actually, it's quite warm here. Legit warm. It's legit. Well, it feels like spring here right now, to be honest. But I know that February's our coldest month. That's where it gets
Oh, okay, you guys are the same then too. Yeah, I mean January, February is our coldest month. Yeah, this past
yeah,
weekend it was awesome. I washed the cars, got to sit out. It was like 60 degrees, maybe 55,
beautiful.
something like that. Sun was shining.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
awesome.
That's perfect. We did the same. My wife was sitting in the gazebo. She had the sun on her face. I was in the hot tub. It was just like,
Yeah.
it was nice. Yeah. But that picture I sent you of the hockey rink that I built, the
Mm.
skating rink, so it's melted now. So it's basically just another big pool of water sitting there. But that's good. That's the only thing I decorated because I put lights on it. But that was
Did
different.
you actually skate it?
Yeah, we went skating. So we had all the nephews over, everything, and we got them. I don't know what they're called, but these little push things that help them stand up.
Who put each of the candy canes in the ground?
Oh, that
I
was
know
me.
that was you.
That
I
was
know
me,
that was you.
1000%. That
I
was
know
me.
it was you.
Yes.
She does the wall decorations. You did the candy canes around the pool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so I'm gonna I'll send a picture in the group. Yeah, I think I made it look
I
nice,
don't
you
know
know?
if you should.
You don't know. Everybody leaves the group. You know, damn. No, guys, come back. Yeah. It I think it looked nice. I think I did a good job. Yeah. And then I figured make it like I don't know, like a winter wonderland for the kids or something, you know? So yeah, it was nice. But that all started, I had zero plans of doing that. Didn't even, wasn't an idea in my head. And then my brother-in-law was like, you know,
Just
it'd be cool out there if the kids had a place they could go skating or something. I was like, say less. And then I looked up the stuff I needed. We just built it.
dude, it was
Yeah,
awesome. It really is.
nice.
You should show off
Yeah.
the pool.
Yeah.
Just get AI to take care of some other stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fix it up.
Don't make this as embarrassing as that other guy said it was. Thank
I'll upload the picture. Be like, please make this more manly, less embarrassing.
you.
Yeah.
Less like I'm a dad with kids, please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. I thought the candy canes were a nice touch, to be honest, but I see where you're coming
They
from.
are when you're a man with kids.
Yeah, yeah. When
They're
you're,
a good touch. I just give you shit. You know,
I
I
know.
actually was impressed. I was like, wow,
Thanks.
you went the extra. Like it's the extra effort.
Yeah, yeah. It is. Well, if you're gonna do something, you might as well, you know, proceed all the way forward. You know what I mean? And that's see, it's all those little things. that is business, in my opinion. It's all those little, going the extra mile, doing a little bit of this and that. It's the not half-assing it stuff, It's easy to do, and you just do it and get it done. It's not like a tip or anything. That's just fucking life. That's what,
Well, that is some ways some people view life, but not everybody
Mm,
views life that way.
that's true. But that's
Right? For
also
you,
like,
you made it sound like it's very simple. Hey, this is just the way, like, but
ah,
no, there's millions of people that would go, why in the world would I go through all that effort?
ah, yeah. It's the
Right?
reward
Like,
at the end. Yeah. I think,
right. I mean, you're going to give the end, like, because
yeah.
that's right.
I think, yeah, that's true. That's true. And that is
Most
not a
people,
normal,
right? Most
yeah,
people, but that's what defines you and some that are successful. Like, you always have to have these. There's art. It just seems like everybody
yeah,
has this little, like, there's something that's just different than most other people.
yeah. That's
Uh,
true.
and
You know,
like, do most people would look at him and go, oh, but no, that is actually what you should celebrate, right? You
yeah,
should celebrate the
100%.
creativity that is different than
Yeah,
others, right? Like,
that's true. Yeah. It's funny you say that. There's something I wanted to talk about today is that um, we let somebody go recently, and they weren't with us long. They were with us, I think, 2, maybe 3 weeks. But a lot of people were surprised why they were let go. And I basically walked them out the door because they said, I don't get paid enough to do that. I said, no problem. You're not getting paid at all. I opened the door and I said, get the fuck out. I said, what are you talking about? And I said, everybody here sweeps the floor. Everybody. If there's a mess and you see it, you don't step over it. You walk past it. We have a broom every like 15 feet in the shop, everywhere, because there's stuff that falls on the floor. And in our case, we do tinting. And I don't know if
always shavings of stuff.
Oh
And
yeah, and if there's any tinters out there that can attest, especially during this colder weather and stuff, a little bit of water gets on there, thin layer, you know, shop starts to, it's colder, so it freezes just enough that you step on that. Holy shit, man. You're taking a nosedive. So it's important that we clean up and we don't that's a thing we have where if you see something on the floor, you pick it up, you sweep it up, whatever the case is. And we mentioned it to one of the new guys, and he said, "Yeah, but don't we have a cleaning person?" I said, "Yeah, the cleaning person comes at the end of the day." I said, "This is during the day, like we're cleaning stuff up as we go." And he said, "Well, I'm not getting paid for that. That's not part of my job description." I said, "If I was to outline everything in your actual job description as like what we expect, it would be 400 pages long."
I wonder
You know
how
what I
you would ever answer. I've always wondered how you answer that question.
mean?
I've never been able to answer that question.
Yeah, like
But
the
that's how you answer it. Hey, dude, if I told you every single thing,
yeah. That's in
I wonder
your
if you could also go, listen, when you were in the interview, did you tell me every single thing?
Yeah. Did you outline everything? No. And that's where it goes back to like how someone's raised, I think, in a lot of cases, but
Yeah.
just how they are
They
culturally,
just
who
ask
they
that
are.
question. You
Yeah.
immediately know it's over.
100%. So that's where the
Yeah.
minute that someone says something like that to me, like, oh, well, I would work harder if I was paid more, or I would this or that, fuck you, get out. You're done. Because the people that will work hard without reward, not for the expectation of, oh, well, I'm going to get XYZ if I do XYZ. Those are the ones that, and you can tell who they are. And those are the ones you want to solidify in your company, in your organization, take care of them because those are the ones that are going to carry you through. And
Yeah.
that's what we look for is,
I had this, it's actually interesting. You said, like, so this morning I had to take my mom to go back to get her first doctor visit after her hip surgery.
oh shit, I hope it went well.
And yeah, so far so good. Yeah,
Nice. Good stuff, man.
she's still rolling along. Um, we got into a conversation because she loves to say, "Well, nobody likes to work."
Ah, yeah.
And I said, "Mom, do you think people love to work when you were my age?
hmm
Like, do you think people 100 years ago loved
Love to
work?
work. Yeah.
Like, your generation always say is, you were the best and you guys did. Like, you think
Yeah.
people loved to work?
Yeah.
Or were you just one of the people that actually did the work, right? I mean, there's just
Yeah, because there's a difference
this is a
between you just
problem.
slug it out and do it.
I said,
Loving it.
what you got to realize is nobody loves to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I said, but the challenge, and this is interesting why I bring it up, is the challenge becomes for those of us, and I used the illustration of where we were there in the doctor's office,
Mm.
but the challenge for all of us is we don't make as much as a doctor office, the majority. And
Hmm.
so we like to pay people $10 an hour, $12 an hour,
Yeah.
$13 if they will do the wheels, 14 if they've been on for over 2 months, right? I mean, we have
Yeah.
these real low
And we expect them
numbers.
to love it.
We expect them to love it, and we expect it. And I
Yeah.
go, Mom, I mean, I didn't mean to say this, but you're a lot like detailers. I did not mean to compare you to my mom.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but right,
But there's some overlap
no
there.
one. Come
Yeah.
on, who is gonna love? And I said, I think that's the hang up. I think that's
Yeah.
what people think. I've got to find these people that love to work.
Yeah.
Huh? Like, never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen
I
because
said,
they
the
don't
thing
exist
you're
in the
gonna have
world.
to
Like,
do, like thinking if we're a detailer, is you're gonna have to get to the point of you actually being able to pay somebody that doesn't love to work but has to.
mhm.
Right? You
Yeah.
got to get into that group of people that, which is the point of the doctor's office. You could look around and you could see the different structures of them, but certain ones, and especially when you start them out a certain area, if you look at some of their habits, right? Like,
Mm.
what is their monthly expenses? Can you get into that,
Yeah.
right? How many kids do they have? Do they
Yeah.
have credit card debts, right? And you go, you can't ask that shit in an interview. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can
You
start
can and you
figuring out.
can, you know?
You
Yeah.
can't just come right out and ask that, but you can
Yeah.
start if you're smart. And really the nugget is trying to find the people that have to, not love to,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
even want to. They have to.
Yeah. Because those are the
Not
guys that
they're
they're gonna never call in sick because like they can't.
no,
They're
they
like,
have right.
I gotta work
Gotta work.
100%.
My
And
bills, my bills, my
yeah,
bills.
absolutely. And sometimes you'll find people that just have big ambitions as well. Like
Oh, you don't
they're
want that
saving
shit
up.
either.
Yeah, like maybe yeah, what I mean is like let's say someone's goal is they're saving up, they want to buy a house, right? They might not have kids, they might not have this, may not have that, but they've
Mhm.
got a big ambition. So that person's going to show up with the drive as well because they've got a bigger picture in mind, right? And I was talking with a buddy of mine, he rents apartments talking to him recently. We have a law here where you're not allowed to ask if someone has pets. You're not allowed to discriminate if they have pets, but obviously every person that owns apartments, the last thing they want in there is a dog that's going to come in and like, fuck up the floors and all kinds of stuff. So he was asking me, he's like, man, with these new laws, like, what do you think? Do you think it's wrong that, I can't ask that question? I said, no, no, listen, there's a lot of ways you can ask the same question in a way, and get the information out of somebody. And he was like, well, what do you mean? Because I'm not allowed to ask, do you have pets? I said, man, it's simple. If I was talking to somebody, I'd be like, by the way, what's your dog's name? And they'd be like, oh, I don't have a dog. And you'd be like, oh, sorry, I took you for a dog person. You look like someone that really likes dogs. You more of a cat person? Or actually, yeah, 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 I've got two cats. Da, da, da. Boom, right there. People will tell you stuff because they have this desire to be right. So I was like, if you tell them something and it's not true, they're gonna tell you what the truth actually is. Or if they're like, yeah, I did have a dog. How'd you know that? Be like, oh, you just strike me as a dog person, like da, 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 whatever. There's ways you can find out the info. So there's ways you can ask these questions for your prospective interviewer. You're the interviewer. Interviewees, I don't know, potential employees. There's ways to ask those questions where you can find out information about, this whole like, what's your 5-year plan? I could give a shit less what their 5-year plan is, but I'll be like, like, so yeah, we pay very, competitively here. We have great commissions as well. What do you plan on using your commissions for? Like when you're up on the board there as a top salesperson, like what's your goal? Like you plan on buying a new boat? You plan on buying a new house or something? Like what kind of dreams can we help you achieve? There's ways of you wording it in a way that you're actually looking out for their best interest, but then finding out does this person have any goals and dreams? If they don't, stop the interview right there. Be like, listen, I don't know if we're a good fit. I'm so sorry. And that's it. But if they do have dreams and goals, or as Marshall said, if they have something they literally have to work for, like, oh, my girl's got student loan debt, I've got a outstanding car note, I've got this and that. If they have all these different things piling up, they have to work. That person's going to slug it out for you day after day, and then it becomes a matter of their personality and if they're a good fit and so on and so forth. And that's where I'm a big fan of paying people for a couple days to come in and just shadow people, just be there. Hey, we have a team meeting after this. We always do our interviews first thing in the morning. And then we say, we have a team meeting after this. We want you to stick around and just engage with people. So we spend 10, 15 minutes. They're talking with people. You can kind of get a vibe and just stand back, observe them, see how they're interacting with everybody, and you'll be able to tell pretty quickly. Like, is this person going to be a big red flag, or is this going to be someone that, hey, they seem to be, they're laughing with people, they're joking, getting to know people. Like, that's what you want. You're building your family essentially, and you want to see who you're bringing in. So, anyway, those are just a couple of things that we do at our shop. But I think they'll be helpful for you, absolutely. If you're someone that struggles with hiring, which I think a lot of us do, but now we're into a whole hiring discussion. But basically, it is built in you, and I'll dive into that real quick. We've talked a lot about entrepreneurs on our podcast, and I think that the big thing is a lot of people feel they're entrepreneurs because they're in business. Technically, they're in business. I have a business. I've got an LLC. I've got whatever. Um, in my opinion, entrepreneurs build teams because at some point you can't do everything on your own. And we all want to, wear every hat. I want to do my social media. I'm going to manage my website. I'm going to do my SEO. I'm going to, manage the phone calls. I'm going to close the deals. I'm going to do the actual detail itself, so on and so forth. But entrepreneurs truly do build teams. That's what it is. And oftentimes we get caught in the trap. Some people get caught in the trap of seeing another entrepreneur and saying, "Oh, well, he's just a detailer. Oh, well, he's just that. Oh, Sean's got a little shop, this and that." But they're not realizing what actually goes into it in the team and how we pump out the volume. It's similar to, well, what it is. It's the Pink Panther problem. So you're familiar with the Pink Panther song? Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. On its surface, seems like a simple song. So a lot of people might think, "Oh, I could play that song." But really, that song is impossible to play without an orchestra. You absolutely
Hmm.
need an orchestra because a lot of people might focus on, the saxophone. The saxophone's obviously an instrument in that song that just stands out, but there's so much more that's going on. And when the orchestra's waiting for the saxophone to finish and they're just sitting there doing their snapping, then you've got the cymbals come in, then you've got the whatever the hell that thing is with the you shake it,
Tambourine.
tambourine, yeah, that's it. You've got the tambourine, you've got all these different instruments that come into play. It sounds simple, and you look at another business, you say, "Oh yeah, it's just this." You oversimplify it, thinking I could just easily do that, but you're not realizing the actual work that goes into developing the right team to get stuff done, especially to get stuff done efficiently, profitably. And I'm not talking gross revenues here. I'm talking profit, what you're left over with after you've paid the proper commissions, the proper salaries to the people that don't love to work, but to the people that are going to work because the money's there. After you've done all that, a profitable business requires a team. Absolutely. And just like how you see the Pink Panther song sound simple, but it's literally impossible to achieve without the right orchestra. And that's what you need to do is build your orchestra.
You were talking about, gross revenue that you bring home.
Yeah.
I got asked recently because this person achieved their goal for the year,
Okay.
and it was a number goal, right? A financial goal.
All right.
I asked if I achieved mine. I said, I haven't done something like that in, I think, 20 something years. I think there was 1 year or so that I kind of put a number
Hmm.
figure as a goal.
Okay.
But I've never been that way since. Never was part of it.
Yeah.
We had discussion of philosophy, right? Like, well, there's
Yeah.
different philosophies of how people play the game. It is
Hmm.
a game.
Yeah.
So there has to be different ways that people will play. My question from another conversation I had, where we were talking about some online, some social media, some people that have only built awareness over the years,
Uh,
which is fine. They're marketers.
yeah.
They've been review type people, and that's the way they've built their online social presence. And now those people are going to go into commerce.
Okay.
And where does somebody then set a goal? How does somebody do something? Does somebody's priorities, like some of these, people that let's just, for instance, a YouTuber that might have had these goals of views and money, and I got to keep going more, and it's going to
Okay.
create
Yeah.
then this paycheck, and then okay, we're going to bring in this because we got to make this, and right, they keep building their top number.
Yeah.
Right, they set that goal, I want to make X amount a month. They set that goal and then they got to keep getting that goal. So then you
Hmm.
see from some of these YouTubers and some of these people that in order to keep achieving that high goal, same as you would find at a dealership, once you ha ha ha, once you get a large enough dealership from just selling a couple cars to hundreds of cars, thousands of cars a month, last month doesn't matter.
Sure.
My new goal has to keep increasing. And
Mm.
so I wonder if those of us that wonder, you know, "Hey, I'm going to 25 or did I meet my goal 20, like I got to set this financial goal and then get it. Do you?
Mm.
Because that might lead you into some practices that once it plays out, you're it's the only thing you can do. And then you're the person that's in a sense sold their soul, right? You've
Yeah.
sold who you are to chase a number. I'm
Yeah.
not even going to say money. I'm going to say it's a number, right? I
Yeah.
mean, at that point, most of us go, listen, I just want more. So,
Mm.
right, it's just a number now.
Just more. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just more. And you
Yeah.
go, hmm.
They've almost lost the sense of purpose of why they were doing what they're doing or
But
something.
then others would
I don't-
say, listen, a business is only a business to make money.
Yeah. While I do agree with that is the fundamental thing that makes a business is something that makes money. I think that the term business is kind of it's a little more fluid than that. And I think that like we have a business at Auto World and we have goals, we have targets, things like that. But our goals are slightly different than just financial. So once we got to revenue points where everybody's happy, and as long as we continue to grow in some capacity, that's our target, is growth in some way, shape, or form. And so our
Just got to
main
keep
goal,
climbing, huh?
just keep climbing, absolutely. And so it's our main thing, and actually across all my businesses, it's really been something stable, something solid, something that has a future, something that will be here. It's grown into its own. It's to me, it's kind of like raising kids. It's you have this toddler that or infant that you have to feed, bathe, change. Then they grow up a little bit. You still have to tie their shoes, and then eventually they learn how to tie their shoes. And the ultimate goal, and this was told to me a long time ago by someone. I made a statement and I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're currently really busy because we're raising kids." And the guy stopped me and he said, "No, no, no, no. You don't raise kids. You raise adults." He says, "You
Oh, yeah. I think
have
we've talked.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but you're raising adults." That stuck with me. It honestly hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I remember at the time, I think I was 27, probably around there. And I remember hearing that in such a simple phrase, and it literally flipped my whole world upside down. And I said, "Holy shit." And it's the same thing. It's that we have a business, we have an income, but are we raising a business or are we raising something else?
Are you building a life or are you making money? I mean, and this could be
Yeah,
right. It's just philosophy.
absolutely.
It's just
So
different ways people play the game.
it is. And so for me, like a big, I don't know, I guess achievement or goal that we hit was the fact that during all of COVID, we didn't let go one
That's a
staff
great
member.
goal. Yeah.
That was a huge thing. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, think of the families that we fed, that we paid their rent, we paid their mortgages, we paid their car notes, we paid their groceries.
Now you had to do business
That
stuff and
was
be very skilled in business to be able to
100%.
make that kind of money, to be able to set that money back, to be able to. It wasn't
100%.
just making the money, which is
No.
sort of my point. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's a great story to emphasize it. Like, so many of us get caught, and I hope, right? We think coming in 25, we'll soon get to this where we're going to do levels, right? Like, here at this
Yeah.
level is something we found, and it's sort of like there's definitely if you want to get somewhere, you got to think, okay, once I'm there, what's it going to be like? If the
Mm,
only thing is money and
yeah.
hitting some number goal, it's
Yeah.
you got
Well,
a
mm,
large hole in the back that's just
yeah.
blowing stuff out.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's you got to build the system, right? I think
Yeah.
it's more about how do I right, which is why we love climb. Like how do I just have
Yeah.
a little more, that a little more growth, maybe even a little more
Yeah.
challenges, right? What's
100%.
something new that
Well,
I
without
can
challenges, you don't have growth really, because
bingo?
you need that.
Yeah.
When you work out, you got to break muscle to rebuild the fibers and stuff. And then same
Hmm.
thing with anything in life, really. And for me, that the overlay of the children and adults thing makes a lot of sense to me, because being an adult in a lot of eyes, like the government and stuff, is just a number. It is that target. It's just once you hit X amount of years, you're considered an adult. For me, an adult is a functioning member of society. It's someone that can take care of their life and have responsibility and accept accountability and, make friends and deal with things and get a job. And like, there's a million things that go into being an adult versus just the number. And I think that's the difference, is that, a lot of these people that set goals for themselves in business, these business owners, it's just the number. But if that's the case, you might find yourself sometimes to chase that number or to acquire that number or achieve it, sacrificing your quality of service, sacrificing your customer experience, or the culture and the way you treat your employees, or different things, just so you can hit that target, versus focusing on growth in all aspects of things. Not every day is leg day. Not every day is arm day, so you focus on the entire growth of the organism to become something. And that's what I focus on a lot of my businesses. Is it's not just with OrbisX, it wasn't how can I get 10,000 subscribers tomorrow. Could have done that by lying to people, could have done that by over promising and under delivering features, could have done that by making it free, could have done that by a million ways, but instead focused on what kind of business do I want to build, and what kind of numbers are actually important that I want to hit. Certain subscriber counts, certain trial amounts, certain number of people that truly believe in the project and refer it to other people. What kind of features do I want to put in there that truly impact a business and help it grow? That was how we built the whole ecosystem, was around those targets, growth in all aspects. So there's features that we launch that don't increase the membership fees. They bring in zero extra dollars for the company. So it's not about chasing just that number of how can we get more subscribers. It's how can we also, while we're chasing more subscribers, how can we also impact our members' lives? How can we generate more revenue for them and their families? How can we make the system better so their employees have an easier time at work? So while they may not love it, they enjoy working for that company. How can we do those kinds of things? And it's creating that whole package. That's what makes a business, in my opinion. And that's the difference between just hitting that target of, oh, we made X amount, oh, we did this and that. I would love to see more posts where it's, or sorry, let me start. I would like to see less posts of, oh, we hit this target this month or that target this year. I would rather see, we had this many customers leave us great reviews because we did this. We solved this many bad problems for customers that, they had a bad experience. Like, imagine if you had 27 customers that wrote 1-star reviews and you turn them into 4-star reviews. That's a huge growth, in my opinion, for that business. That's creating a stable foundation for that business to continue on. And that's building something that's a legacy, something that's going to be there in the future, something that has intrinsic value, that's not going to just go away. If you're just chasing just the numbers, all it takes is a good salesperson to completely shut your business down. But if you're building growth in all those other areas, you're unstoppable. You're invincible. There's nothing that can take that away from you, because the experience is so much better. Like me personally, I don't shop at Walmart maybe twice a year, 3 times a year maximum, because I could give a shit less about the cheapest price. What I care about more is the experience I have when I'm shopping. There's companies I shop at. I see you laughing. I'm sure a lot of people are like, no, no.
Well, I'm laughing because I saw this meme the other day that
Yeah, yeah.
there was a Timu factory that burned down in China,
Mm,
and it said,
yeah.
and something like, it cost, the estimated cost of, merchandise in there was $53 American.
Jesus, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Plus, don't they sell fire extinguishers? Like, because they didn't work. But that's total cost
I
$53.
never said right. So
Yeah,
cheap stuff, right? And it's
that's
crazy.
good though.
Amazon, I think Amazon has really gone cheap. I
Yeah,
think
they
that's
have.
just sad what Amazon has done. And it's a big reason why I hope we stay off Amazon. I hope that we
Yeah,
don't ever go onto Amazon. I feel for, as you saw the post, right? I saw you liked it. All the pallets that have been
yeah,
going out over the past couple of days. It, if we were on Amazon, it wouldn't be that way, right? We'd be sending
it's
them to
true.
them, and
Yeah,
the people that are out in the world, right, cleaning cars, getting the
yeah,
opportunity to then add in distribution is something I didn't have, something that detailers we didn't have back then. We now have the ability to create a car care company. That's It's
yeah,
different than a detailing business 10 years ago, right?
yeah.
Much different.
True.
And even 5 years ago, right? So we're at the forefront, and really some of the companies that are pushing the heaviest at that, because I was a distributor. I understand cleaning cars and selling products.
Yeah,
And Nick, my partner, he says the biggest regret in the 20 years of business for him was that he didn't get into chemicals earlier.
wow.
So there's a big reason we're keeping out of Amazon while other chemical companies push hard to go into Amazon. And then the local guys have to compete with
With
Amazon. And you just
Amazon, yeah,
go, I feel
it's
bad
true.
for you, son. I got
Yeah,
99 problems, but that ain't
which is
one.
true. Because here's the thing: someone's gonna be the distributor,
Yeah.
and it's either the local detailer or it's gonna be Amazon. So you might as well be the distributor, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, the thing is with Amazon, and
Stop using the same stuff that people can buy off Amazon.
exactly, and sites like Amazon and other sites like that, they're only focused on the
Cheap.
numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just cheap. It's just get it cheap, get it fast. That's it. Get it out the door. And it takes away from that whole customer experience. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier is that, like, for me, if I wasn't in this industry and I had to get my car detailed, and my detailer talked to me about some products that I can use in between visits at home, advise me on how to use them, stuff like that, that experience isn't something I can get from an Amazon purchase. I
Mm-mm.
can't get his expert opinion. I can't get recommendations on certain products. I can't even have that conversation. I have to have that conversation by myself, searching for
And here's what I
products.
love: the guys will go, "Wow, yeah, I send out Amazon links so that they can buy them."
Jesus. Completely missing the point.
Was it Jeff Foxworthy or whatever? There was one of those like country style comedians. He had this skit that he'd go, "Here's your sign."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Did
I
you ever
think that
remember
was
that? Like,
Foxworthy, actually. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it was Foxworthy. Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
said, weird
You know
memories on
you're a
strange
redneck
things,
when. Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was great. But but yeah, it's one of those things, man. And that's where I think that there's a huge part of this industry that a lot of detailers are missing out on and don't understand because I don't know if it's a lack of knowledge or a lack of understanding of it or because it's in a way such a new way of thinking that
it is
maybe they
very new.
just
Yeah.
it really
We've
is.
never had this opportunity to become a car care
Yeah,
company. We haven't.
it's true. Which you know what's crazy though? I've seen it in other industries and they seem to adopt it a lot more frequently or more often than our industry.
Yeah.
So
Well, and here's the rub, right?
yeah,
We take so much pride because I'm I'm in the side of the people that say detailing is it's art. I'm
yeah,
an artist. Like I am that guy. I'm one of those people.
yeah,
Not
and
everybody believes that way.
I
I'm one
I
of those people.
agree, I agree. But then
So
wouldn't
what
you
happens, right?
push artisanal products? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah. So there's the flip of the coin, right? But
Mm.
I think what happens is most of us go, nobody can do it like I can.
Ah,
I am the greatest,
mm.
which is most artists, if they start, right? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not, I'm just, right? They say don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, I get it. Like,
yeah,
it's just part of it. So, anybody, a musician, right, is also an artist, right? So, as they grow, there becomes this, well, simmer down
mm.
now, simmer down. I am the
True.
best here.
Yeah, yeah,
And you go, wait a second. And there might be the greatest trap in our industry.
Ah,
Do you want to be the greatest? And this is why I've been very public since 2017. You want to be the greatest paint correction person, or you just want to sell them a 1 year coating and have the most customers through the year?
mm,
Like I've never understood. That's the flip of the coin for me. I love my artist expression, but I also love building this overall community of people around me that also love to clean cars. And they might not do it like I do, but I can
yeah,
look at
yeah.
them and go, dude, that looks
Well
awesome,
done.
man. Great.
Yeah.
I can, I can appreciate Bob Ross at the same time
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Picasso, to same time my
True.
grandmother's sister, who I used to go, her husband was a photographer just as a hobby. She loved to paint, and so did my grandma. Like, people,
Yeah.
it just seemed like there was more of that because people could just do it, right?
True.
They would
True.
just do,
You know,
but
I'm glad you
now
brought that up actually.
artistry has to become this
Yeah.
like, I'm here and everybody else
Yeah.
sucks. No, no, no,
That's
no.
true.
I don't
You know
think so.
what? I'm glad you brought that up though, because there's no form of art that's more art than an artist, right? My mother is an artist. She's a visual artist. She's done over like 5,000 something paintings. She has paintings in our Parliament building all over. She's as famous as an alive artist can get, as she always says, because apparently when artists pass, that's when they really get super famous, right? But so she does art. She does, you know, custom paintings, commissions. She gets them all the time. But she also sells frames, painting, lessons, courses, you name it. She's a distributor in the industry as well, because there's other artists out there, whether they're on a professional, semi-professional, or they're just someone at home that wants to have a paint night, stuff like that. So she offers courses where someone that has no experience or little experience can level up their game and learn how to paint something new. They can sit in on a class. She has classes at her house. They get a model in. The model comes in. There's like 20, 30 people around and they're drawing this person. My mom walks around, gives them tips on how to do this, that, and everything. And then at the end of it, it's like, by the way, I can see you really excel in watercolor. You really excel in latex paint. I have these brands
I
that I
wonder,
work
I
with.
wonder if a question to her would be, would you have done this given, let's say it was
Mm,
the technology of 2024, but
ah,
when you were 20,
mm.
would you go
Oh
this
my
route?
God.
Right? Or right.
Jeez.
So the reason why I say
Yeah.
that is to also, give some young people, like, I also get
Yeah.
it. Like, you can put out your artwork and have a lot of people praise you for it. Seems like I don't know if I'd be hosting that many classes or trying to give away a lot of, and that's what they're going to say. I
That's what I
bet
mean.
you,
Yeah.
I would hope, and I would say, I would almost bet it all that your mom would go, no, I would still do it this way, because by the end of, once I get to this age, I would much rather have all this built up instead of
Yeah.
just people looking at my art and wanting to pay me for my art.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
100%. Yeah. She actually enjoys it more. She stopped for a brief period of time during COVID, because you couldn't have people in person, stuff like that. And then she was faced with the decision, do I start it back up again or do I just keep living life the way I've been living for the last couple of years now? And she started it back up, and to the point that like my kids even know when they go to visit, it's like you can't go these certain days because there's going to be like 400 people there that during that week that are passing through this and that. I think she would definitely still do it the same way. The only thing I think would change would probably she'd probably do a digital course of some kind.
sure.
She's asked me about it. You know, she's
Yeah.
got a Shopify store, stuff like that. But
Bingo. That would be the extra layer, right? But
yeah,
instead of just being known as the artist, would still build the overall
100%.
community of people
Yeah,
that appreciate art, which
yeah,
is our point. You should
exactly.
build your community in your local area of people
Yeah.
who appreciate cars and taking care of their cars. Listen, I got commented, we see it all the time, you know,
Hey, yeah, yeah, the shirts.
and
Yeah,
people will see, if you wear the hyper clean hoodie, people will
yeah.
see the pedals, and the people that recognize what it is and are part of it, they want to, they want you to know that they know.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh man, I like that. Ah, yeah, yeah. Like,
yeah, yeah.
the pedals, like
It's
cool.
true.
Like, and then the question is always, oh, look, so you're into cars, huh? Ah, yeah. What do you have?
Hmm.
Boom, boom, boom. And those are right. It's
Yep.
creating those type of people. And so it comes in
Yeah.
all to right. You would
Yeah.
want, instead of that guy just thinking that you're going to be the best paint correction for his car. See how
Hmm.
that's different? See how that's
Yeah.
different?
Yeah. It's true. That's it. Man, it's amazing to be a part of the industry at this time, I find. Because I kind of came into the auto industry later. Like, I mean, you've been in it a lot longer than I have, for example. Like, I've always had a car and maintained a car and taken care of a car, but in terms of being in the sales cycle of things in the automotive industry, it was fairly recent for me, because of when we launched our shop and then when I launched OrbisX. I'd say it's a exciting time, but also at times, depending on which business I'm talking about, if it's Auto World or if it's OrbisX, a frustrating time as well because seeing so many business owners that they have good grasp on certain aspects of the business or something, and then all of a sudden this ugly little demon rears its head and it's their ego, and it just pops up and it's like, no, no, I was working with such and such brand and they told me XYZ that I should do this and I should da 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 da. And everything they told me, I was like, of course they told you that. It 100% serves their interest. And so what they were told, actually, they were wanting to sell their products and they were told, no, 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 you can't sell their products directly. It's only for, other detailers to purchase and you're stuck in a territory and so you can't do anything outside of that. And it was a whole situation. Anyway, I was looking at it and I'm like, why do you believe the bullshit they're selling you so hard? And I'm like, there's a whole nother world out there where you can profit off of things, you can create better customer experiences by introducing those products to your customers. Like it's not for me anyway, it doesn't have to be a big kept secret. I could host a free class for our customers to come in and learn how to maintain their car themselves and learn how to paint correct and learn how to do all kinds of shit. And you know what? They're still calling us Monday. they're they're not going to do it 9 times out of 10. And if they do it, they're going to see how much time it takes, see how hard it is, see how whatever, whatever, whatever. It's just not going to get done. They're still going to call us. So it won't matter as much. But if we can give them some products that in between time, they can do little touch ups here and there. They can make their life a little easier. They can so on and so forth. They're going to be happy to do it. And they're going to be happy we recommended it to them. And I don't understand where the blockage comes for other business owners that are terrified of that. And for me, I look at the difference of it's like Walmart. Yeah, home of best prices, home of all this shit. They don't really make many of their own products. They do make a lot of products. Like I think they own that line George, for the clothing and stuff like that. There's some like Walmart created products, but by and large, they're selling other people's stuff.
Well,
It's
but Walmart doesn't create. There's no way I don't think
I
they're
don't think they
just
actually
white
create
labeling
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
just white
white label
label.
for sure.
Yeah.
But still, to my point is that
At
they've
least they have their own name on something, right? Like,
true, but they've also realized that there's money in servicing, people, the customers, consumers with goods from somewhere else that they've vetted, they believe in, they for whatever reason, the quality, the price, so on and so forth. I think that this industry, because here's what I've seen. Other industries, like I mentioned before, it seems to have been a little easier to adopt this distributor mentality. So your wife's got a cleaning company, for example. My other business, Creative Designs, we still have a handful of cleaning companies that we work with for marketing. They seem to have grasped that concept quite a bit. There's a line here. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like eco-friendly, all kinds of stuff. I don't know. It's like it works well apparently for laundry and a bunch of other stuff, but the cleaning companies that we worked with for marketing, they sell this to their customers. They come in and they clean their customers' houses, but they also sell them this line of product and they say this is what you can use in between visits to maintain things so that it means that we don't have to spend as much time in one particular room. We can actually spread out more throughout the whole house in the same visit. You actually get a better clean for your monthly visits when you're maintaining your house as well. And so they've
so that's if somebody
adopted.
wants to actually maintain and have customers, right? Instead
Yes.
of, and that's just right.
But
instead
that's
of
where
this. Why I
building
think
that
this would
whole
be interesting.
business.
Let's go into this.
Yeah.
Well, because you say that, but we actually wanted to say something about 2025 and what we're looking into,
Ah, yeah, yeah,
right? And it ties into that.
yeah.
It does
In a big way.
because do you want, what is it that you're wanting out of 25 and how do you, who do you want? What customers do you want? How are you going to get there? All this bundles into that moment, doesn't it?
That's very much so. And that's a good point too, because 2024, as a recap, what I saw a lot of complaining, to be honest.
Mm.
I saw a lot of people complaining about various aspects of their business. Don't have enough customers. I got this many negative reviews. How would you handle it? My revenue is down. What do you guys do when it's slow? How do you manage your ads? My ads seem to suck. I just saw a lot of complaining about stuff. People saying, "Oh, I worked with this agency. They did a shit job, and should I stay on with the contract?" All this stuff. And I'm looking at all these things, and I'm like, okay, so people spend a lot of time complaining, but it's your business. I had someone at our shop recently, a couple weeks ago, that wasn't a good fit, clearly. I mentioned it on this episode. We let them go. Why'd we let them go? Because it's our decision to make. I can either shut up or do something about it, change. Those are my two options. Sitting and complaining about this guy, having him destroy our company culture we've worked so hard to build as one of our growth aspects within our company. I'm not going to have him taint the whole recipe. No, going to get rid of him, but I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to do something about it. That's what I saw a lot of in 2024 was people just complaining about things and not realizing that you're in the driver's seat. It's your business. Whatever you want to do tomorrow, you can do. So for 2025, I think everybody should be starting out with an entire year plan, a 2 year plan, a 3 year plan with some targets that aren't just focused around, I want to make X amount of dollars. I want to make this and that. The money comes, but it comes from planning out all the other aspects. You've got to find multiple streams of income for your business within the same business. Not multiple streams like, oh, I'm going to stock trade during the day and I'm going to detail at night and I'm going to do this and that.
Thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying.
Yeah, 100%. Because I know there's some people out there that are like, oh, multiple streams. Yeah, I got. No, no, no. Within the same business, you can have multiple streams of income. At Auto World, we have one income stream, which is our upsells. We have another income stream, which is detailing, another one that's tinting, another one PPF, another one this, that. The income streams are vast. Then we have other companies that we funnel our customers to as well. So we do have multiple streams outside of our main company, but if we lost all of those, our main company is still strong and will survive as a legacy because it's not just something that we were chasing a target number, it was growth in all aspects. We've worked that bicep so much that it's got muscle on the side, the top, the bottom, everything. It's a solid muscle. It's not just like we're the guy with the skinny little legs and the big upper
That's what I was going to say.
body.
More like the quad, right?
Yeah. That's true. More like a
Quad, and
quad.
where you see the people
Yeah.
actually have some like teardrops and,
Yeah. You're
have all
like,
those full defined leg
damn.
muscles. And you go,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. Because you know what it takes to actually get that. It's not just like
Hmm.
one side of, yeah, it's
Hmm.
true. And it's exactly the same thing with your business is that's what it has to be is you've got to work on all of those different muscle groups. And so in one aspect, you should be chasing new clients, 100%. And that seems to be where a lot of people's minds are focused. But at the same time, you have to nurture the relationships with your existing customers through something like OrbisX. And then you have to also, while you're prospecting new clients, reaching out to existing clients, you have to also find ways of introducing other things like maintenance programs. So you say, okay, great, we're going to introduce a maintenance program, or maybe you already have one. Well, what other products can you add into the mix for your maintenance program? So yeah, we do the weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly cleanings, whatever it is. Oh, so maybe we could start doing every 3 months a ceramic coating. So we do, yeah, a little top up for you, da da da, this and that. Maybe we could sell you some products through HyperClean. You can use these in between your visits or use these once a month or maybe use them inside your house. There's other aspects of the car care business that overlap. Like my God, I used your coating recently on one of our bathrooms on the top. We had this, I don't know
Oh,
what it
yeah.
is. It's cool. Hey, what do you say?
And I said, oh, yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
said,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We have a
Hmm.
little statue, not a statue, but it's a tree for Christmas, but the bottom of it is this metal. I don't know what that cheap ass metal is, but it oxidizes like crazy.
Mm.
But I didn't notice it because the top was still silver. Underneath, it had completely oxidized, and it made this like red ring. And I kept cleaning it every few days once I first found it. And I was like, why am I cleaning this every day? And I have to scrub, 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 scrub because a natural stone just like soaks in anything. So I was trying to get on it regularly, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm doing this every 3 days. This is insane. So I said, wait a minute. If I can coat a car that's going to be outside in all the elements, I can code a counter that's not
Hmm.
exposed to any elements except for this stupid statue. And so, sure enough, coded it. And now I clean it once a week and it's a breeze. And I only clean it because aesthetically, I want to see it clean. But I could leave it there and then clean it once a year. It'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen, Revive on the
Is
counters, Impress on the
yeah,
leather seats. Yeah,
yeah.
there's definitely,
See? I,
enzyme for the carpets if you
I
got
used
a
Revive
customer
in our theater.
with dogs.
Yeah, yeah, for our cinema seats. Because
Hmm.
I was sick and tired of the kids come in there, they have candies and all kinds of shit. They drop it, it melts in their hands or what. I don't know what these kids are doing, but everything ended up sticky afterwards, and it was a nightmare to clean. Spray some Revive, I'm telling you, that stuff, that'll fix a. You going through a divorce? Spray a little of that on there.
Maybe you don't want it.
No more payments.
Maybe you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want it to stick. Actually, then
Fair, fair, fair. Good call.
unless you like me,
Yeah.
post my first divorce, I created I cre- remember, well, you're vaping now, but when vaping
Yeah.
first came out, I didn't try, I got into it, and it was called SmokeX.
Okay. Smokehouse.
And
All
the
right.
slogan was put out that dirty white trash. Post divorce, man. I was going
Yeah.
through some shit.
Yeah, yeah, going through some shit. That's crazy. That's the best.
Hmm.
Take out that dirty white trash.
Yeah, I'll try and find. I think I still have some of those cards, because I can't. All those random companies I created a long time ago. I think I still
Nice.
have some of the. I'll send you the little. Yeah,
Dirty white trash.
it's
That's
funny.
the best. That
But so 25.
uh,
Is that sort of what you're thinking? Like it would be wonderful to see less complaining and
more change.
change.
Do
Yeah.
something to climb. That's what I would like to see. Because even when you're complaining about this or that or something, it's still just grinding. You're still just grinding away. And I feel like climbing, like me when I'm faced with a problem, I solve it in like 2 or 3 seconds. And actually, good case in point. And here's a tip: when staff call you with a problem, the first thing I say, "What 3 things did you try before you called me?" And if they stutter or they're not sure or they didn't have 3 things queued up ready to tell me, I'm like, I'm hanging up. Go try 3 things. Because there's no reason you should call me unless you've tried 3 things. And what I'm trying to explain to them, and most of my staff get it, but there's a couple, that here and there, they complain about stuff. They'll call and say, oh, customer this, that, or oh, this, that. It's just a complaint. And for
It,
me,
do,
it's do something.
does
Change.
that, do you think that the majority of their complaints, like the people that complain to them, right? They're the nitpicky guy.
I would say no.
No?
Well, you know what? The
Or
majority of
not.
the
I don't know.
comments.
That's where I was at, right?
No, no,
Because
no,
none
no.
of us
Good
want
question.
that nitpicky guy. And it's
Yeah,
something we talked about before. Like,
yeah,
you never want to attract a nitpicky guy. How do you gain a group of customers that value cleanliness,
yeah,
right? And they value keeping things clean, but they're not nitpicky. And we can all know like who is
okay,
and
so
is it
yeah,
because there's so many, right? Because the nitpicky guy most of the time is usually wanting some deal.
yeah, oh, always, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
We,
so so the less deals we have, the less nitpicky people will find. And we
yeah,
want to seek out the true people that value cleanliness, not necessarily at a deal, but you can't be trying to be the
yeah,
shop that has nothing but Lambos, right? And doing that like, look at all this. No, no, no. You got it. Like there is a certain type of
yeah.
person that you really got to try and find.
I'm glad you say that actually because I always
I
wondered.
think that customer owns Porsches, even though we go
Yeah,
after Porsche guy a lot. I think a Mercedes and the Ranger. I think Range Rover customers. I think Mercedes customers. I love those type of people, minus you.
I was about to say I
Uh,
got a Range Rover. Take it easy.
minus you, you're
I'm the exception to the rule.
you're the exception to the. No, I did. Do you nitpick?
I am no, I am the exception. I literally just loaded up because we were prepping for our
No,
garden.
so then you're not. You would fall into the same. I don't think Range Rover people are nitpicky.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think so either, to
Mercedes
be
people are
honest. Yeah,
nitpicky. I don't think
yeah.
if you treat the Porsche guy right, if you get into
I see
the
what you're
Porsche
saying. Yeah,
guy's world, he's not picky. He just
yeah,
has a certain way of talking and a certain way of saying it,
yeah.
and he's not going to be over picky than a detailer can perform. Trust me.
I
You just
agree.
have to be able to talk to the guy the right way, and once
Yeah,
that guy's in your world, he's actually a good guy to have in your world.
it's true. Most of the Porsche drivers that we've met actually through our shop bought the car not for appearance's sake, but because they actually appreciate the engine. They appreciate how it
Yeah,
drives, how it
a lot of the
feels.
Porsche, yeah,
That's why
Audi
they,
guy, right? It
yeah,
is about the methodical aspects of it. I always
yeah.
go back to Transporter and that guy, right? Like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
as
Jason Statham.
Jason has
That was
gone through his
great.
career, he's always been known as Audis, the clean, very
Yeah,
structured. He always has the gloves, right? Like
it's true.
inside that movie, but then even
Yeah,
later as he's progressed through his life and all of his movies, he's always being portrayed. And you go into the latest one, I think is Beekeeper or something like
yeah.
that.
That was a good movie, by the way.
A great movie, right?
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
in that, he's very methodical. He's always known
yeah.
as methodically doing things.
It's true. Yeah, and yeah, our biggest complainers, like our,
For those that want to know, Transporter, he did wash his car.
yeah,
So
that's
he
true.
does value cleanliness.
Does value
There was a
cleanliness. That's
scene where
true.
he was washing his car.
Yep, that
Now,
is
did he
very
have an
true.
old chamois and he was wringing out the old chamois? I'm not saying that paint was in an immaculate condition
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm not
I'm
saying
saying
that.
it happened. That's that's true. But it's funny because I get asked this a lot actually, and I was surprised by it. But people ask at our shop, like what our average like vehicle looks like and stuff. And I tell them, well, it's easy to find those stats in OrbisX, and we use OrbisX as well. So I go in and I'm like, oh yeah, our average makes models that we see, Hondas, Toyotas, Kias, Hyundai, those are the average one. That's the top. And that's very much in line with our advertising and our ideal market. And they say, "Oh, I thought you would have done like a lot of Lambos and G-Wagons and all kinds of stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, we get them in here and there, but that's not our target market. And in fact, it's the opposite of our target market. We really want to stay away from certain drivers or certain vehicles because of the drivers that come
They're
along
too
with them.
flashy. They're too
Very
showy.
much so.
It's not quality. They're not
They're the guys
valuing
that,
quality.
yeah, we've had them come in with flashlights after a detail and go under and check under the seats, and they're looking at this and that, and I'm like, oh my God, like even just the process alone is a kink in our chain. It slows down the whole process. Like our whole thing is in and out, in and out, in and out. We're not running a parking lot. That's not where we're running. We want cars to come in, cars to go out, cars to come in, cars to go out. That's all
Strange
day
when
long.
people keep cars for like 4 or 5 days, right? Like
That to me is insanity. Like that's insane.
I've
I'd
never
have to
understood that.
I'd
Wait,
have to charge them a holding fee. Like if we're gonna hold your car here, that's
and it's insane in
crazy.
25 that people are still doing like 17 when I really started pushing out and creating the podcast, creating our brand out into the national scene, moving out of just Oklahoma and going into the national realm. I was there's a word that some people are like, why would you choose that word? I mean, it's such a strange word, but flabbergasted,
Ah,
speechless, right?
flabbergasted
Like
is a good word
in
though.
awe. And then I had to
Yeah,
fight. Like I remember like being almost so vocal after episodes or talking to people like just my energy was ramped up. Like could not believe how many people were saying have to do full corrections, 3 to 4 less steps, have to put 3 or 4 levels of that. Like,
yeah,
how long are y'all keeping these cars? Oh, well, we're
it's
building
crazy.
this. Well, we got this parking. We got to we got to. We'll do. What? I was like, what?
It's
Can we do
madness.
1 year, 2 year, 3? And they're like,
Yeah,
I hung my hat on those. Like I said recently, we didn't put out a 5 year till we'd been in business over 5 years.
yeah.
So
Be- because there's a
how
difference
long did we
there.
hang our hat on? You only
Mhm.
need 1, 2, and 3 years. And I
Yeah.
love the amount of people inside of the hyperclean specialist group that are posting, hey, these people came back year after year. Hey, this 1 year coating, 17 months. Hey, 2 years, like, hey, three, like, it's
Yeah.
awesome to see because that compounds year after year, year
Hmm.
after year, year after year. Do you want somebody that comes in every 5 years, or do you want that person coming back a guaranteed
Yeah.
every year? And what does that mean if your schedule over the next 3 to 4 years gets filled up with
Yeah.
1 year Uno coatings? Huh?
100%.
Like,
100%. That's the way to
huh?
go. Hundred
All
percent.
you do is bring the car in and put the coating on? Huh?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely. It really is a volume game. It's in my opinion, and it's about frequency
people
with
hear
that customer.
volume and they forget quality though.
True. Yeah. And you
And they
still have
think
to
I don't
be
want to be a dealership, I don't want to be an auction, I don't want to be those guys that, you know, throw tire shine on with a brush out of a gallon carton bucket. Right?
true.
Like I
But
don't
I
want to
would say that
be the
when I talk
the
volume, it's really just reducing days to hours. It's not about
and it's
okay, so
efficiency, isn't it?
it's efficiency. It is.
Efficiency is the word. You got to be efficient in the way you clean, but you
Yeah,
got to be efficient in your marketing so that you get those right customers in. You got to be efficient in your closing because you got to make sure that you sell them, right? Everything comes
100%.
down to efficiency in my book.
100%. I agree 1,000%. And that's why in the beginning when we started Auto World, that was our focus was, okay, how can we get our first detail? It was me and my business partner Nick. Man, it took us like 8 hours. We were just like testing out this, testing out that. We were so slow and we were bumping into each other and we were, oh, I just did the window. I just did the windows. Like we were overlapping each other. It was a mess, right? But our goal was, okay, we're just going to detail some cars and back to back to back to back. That's all we did. We weren't even officially open yet. And we said, we're just going to detail cars of people that we know until we can get this process down. We ended up getting it down. Finally, we had a good process. We said, this is the way to do it. And our average is an hour and 6 minutes, which is perfect. Are they showroom ready? Pretty close. Are they absolutely perfect that if you took a microscope or you took a flashlight and went under the seats and looked at every little nook and cranny and stuff, there might have been a couple things that were cleaned, but maybe weren't 1,000% as if it just rolled off the showroom floor. But we manage our customer expectations. They understand what they're getting, what they're paying for, how long it's going to take, so on and so forth. And they understand that they're not getting something that like what is this for? That's a big thing that we ask them. Like what are you looking to get out of the cleaning? Like is this for an upcoming wedding or is this for something or you just want regular maintenance done on the vehicle, whatever it is. We manage the expectation with them. If it's something like a special event, we'll do our VIP detailing, costs a little bit more. That still is under 5 hours. That's the most time we spend on a vehicle.
Love it.
Under 5 hours. Absolutely. That'll be two, maybe three people banging stuff out. Usually it starts off with three, and then it'll be one guy that finishes everything else. But that's our VIP package. That's the most. But the cars are immaculate. But we've got a good process down. We use good products. We use good, equipment. So our extractors are amazing. We've got the right stuff in place to make that happen. But it came through trial and error. It came through making sure that that was the process. But that was one of our goals. That to us was more important than, oh, we hit this dollar figure this
Great point.
month or something like
Great
that.
point.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Yeah, this is one of the goals because if we can narrow that down, the sky's the limit for the income.
There you go.
And in fact, I'm telling you, the shops that post the nice pictures of the Lambos and stuff like that, I would challenge them. We will outdo you. We will outdo you dollar for dollar. At the end of it, we will have twice as many customers, or maybe 10 times as many customers, and we will have a more resilient business as well. Because during tough times where the market slows down or economy's not that great, those guys are still going to be there. The guys that want the 160 to $250 detail, those guys are still going to be there. The guy that wants the
They value cleanliness.
100%, they value cleanliness and they need it.
That's the point, right?
They
Like,
value cleanliness,
go.
exactly. And cleanliness, not perfection. And so one of my staff told me once, he said, perfect is the enemy of good. And I didn't understand, like I understood it, but I didn't fully understand at the time. but we were going for perfect in something. We were working on a project, and I realized I was like going for perfect. We're never going to launch, and we'll never hit perfect. Perfect is probably unattainable, but good is very attainable. And is good still great? Absolutely. In
Well,
most
good's
cases,
great compared to how look at the rest of the market, right? Like
100%,
if you can just do
100%.
good, you're great.
Exactly. And for us, I look at it like this. Our cost of acquisition for a customer is extremely low because the target market that we go after, we get a lot more referrals because in the same time that someone's got a car sitting in their shop for 4 days, we just saw 60 customers in that same time span. In 4 days, we'll have seen 60 plus customers.
Yeah.
So how many more referrals are we going to get versus the other one?
Mhm.
And I see people post like, "Oh, great, we had
And it
155
just
star
keeps
reviews."
compounding,
Yeah, we've got
compounding.
1,400 plus 5 star reviews. And I'm still looking at that like that's not enough. Why didn't the rest of the customers leave a review? Some people just don't. But percentage wise, you got to think if someone serviced 1,000 customers and they got 150 reviews, think of how many customers we had to service to get 1,500. It's a huge difference. How many referrals do we get? How many upsells are we getting? How many maintenance customers? It's insane. The volume to me is what it's all about. And I would rather, if you, okay, you want to put on a 10-year coding? Okay. Why not do that in 10 1-year codings? That might make a lot more
Service
sense.
that customer's lifestyle better. They're not going to keep that car
100%.
10 years.
100%. And on the off chance that they do, they're still getting the same thing, but they're also coming into your shop again. So you can
Hmm.
assess the vehicle, you can see things. Vehicles need maintenance. Vehicles go through a lot more than I looked at some stats. I can't remember the exact number, but compared to a pair of shoes, what they go through is insane because the wear and tear and everything that's out there, you look like
I
you
think I'm going to change. Well, let's close with this. Let's close with this
Mhm.
because we're getting pretty long, but this is a fun episode.
Pause.
Let's close with
No,
this
it's like- yeah.
of 25. Like, hmm.
2025.
Well, final
Yeah.
thoughts.
Woo. Well, happy New Year, first off. Yeah, but yeah, it's coming. Final thoughts, man. I think 2025 is going to be a great year. Honestly, I think that there's a lot of changes in the economy that are going to be great, but I think what we're going to start to see is a bigger gap. That's what I think is going to
Mm,
happen. I think there's going to be a gap in between the people that we're coming out of the quote unquote gold rush where detailing
mm.
was, in its prime in a way where you could just open a shop tomorrow or open a mobile business tomorrow and you just got clients out the wazoo. And then now they're realizing, oh shit, that's
I
died
got to work
down.
for this.
And now I got to work for it. I think we're going to see a gap between those that were working for it and continue to work for it and those that had it served up on a platter and were just eating at the table. I think we're going to see a big gap between those two groups in 2025. I think the other thing is with the surge of AI, marketing tools, and different things that the early adopters, when they experienced the success, and then other people started jumping on board, the discrepancy is going to become smaller, I think, between those two groups. And I think that there's going to be, for those that were working for it, there's a lot more work to do. And I hope they have the motivation, and I hope they have the staying power to keep it up. But I do think we're going to see a gap definitely between those that were having it served on the platter, and those are the ones that I notice complaining the most, and then looking at other shops and saying, "Oh, well, I guess I could just do this or XYZ," and they're trying to copy a blueprint that the blueprint is really the hard work. It's not who they're working with per se in a lot of cases. And because they're not willing to put that in play, I think we're going to see a lot of businesses close their doors, to be honest. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah, I think there's a lot of them out there that are going to be doomed, which is good news for those that are putting the work in. But for those that aren't, I think they're in trouble. And I think we are going to see a shift. I think it's already started, as you mentioned, Amazon. We've seen a change with the products there. The customer service, just everything in the whole platform has changed because they're competing with Temu, and other, sites similar. We've seen a change in the quality, we've seen change in things, and I think that's where some people that are starting to offer, hyper clean products, for example, we're going to see a difference where customers are starting to appreciate again good quality things, and they're understanding the difference of cheap isn't good, And I think that's what we're going to see in 2025 is
And that's when
urgency.
I think of division of when you'd say I
Yeah,
same the same. I think there'll be a lot of people that keep climbing, and a lot of people that slip down and keep falling.
yeah,
And I think that's where you'll see it is in quality. I
yeah,
do. It doesn't
100%.
matter. It really, I want every single person to hear this. The economy really has no bearing on you.
Mm,
Who's in office has zero bearing on you.
it's true.
If you're in business, you control your destiny.
Yep, it's
100%.
true. 100,000%.
Zero
Yeah.
questions otherwise. If you
Yep.
question it, all good, man. Hey, go self-employed, go get a job, do something like all good. Not still no worries. But
Yeah.
but if you're
But
the type of person that then it's going to be your year. I
yeah,
do.
100%.
I think that growth. You know, I love the bamboo analogy. How
Mm,
long does it take to grow bamboo? Well, bamboo once it starts growing, right, it shoots up really
yeah.
fast.
Yeah. It won't
It just
stop.
takes a long, I think 6 years, sometimes five, four. I think it probably ventures different types of bamboo and probably the different environments and when it's growing. But it takes a long time to get to that moment. Once it does, shoots off.
Yeah.
And those that have been buying into your system, right,
Yeah.
staying in it and staying there with it,
Yeah.
it's going to compound. 2025 will be the year that you begin to build more, right? It
Yeah,
will be
absolutely.
more
Yeah.
because the community, right?
Yeah.
Because of the opportunity that everything and it, stay in it, be a part. If you go out on your own, get away from the herd, there's nobody say, hey, don't cross the river right there. There's
Yeah.
alligators. Stay in the herd. Be more in the herd than it, right? The best way a zebra keeps going is deep in the herd because
Yeah.
it goes along with
Camouflaged
the
in there that,
rest
yeah.
of the herd. And so stay in it, be a part. Like you will
Yeah.
see the growth that we keep saying is out there. Uh that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Like and
Absolutely.
seeing that message that somebody sent you that you sent me, like some people are
Yeah.
already seeing it and you're just
It's
like,
true. Yeah.
God, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Like
Mm.
to really see how many people can create car care
Yeah.
companies.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, you're an artist, but could you create an artistic company? Like,
Yeah.
mm,
100%. Because
you
there's
can,
big difference there. You
you
can,
can,
and you should, and you should.
and you
Yeah.
will. I
Yeah. Yeah.
am, I will, I can.
That's it. Absolutely. All those words of affirmation. I love
Yeah, remember that's what I
it.
used to write underneath my hat.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Man,
I
that's
am,
a
I
nice
will, I
tie-in.
can. That
Yeah.
was my
Yeah.
baseball slogan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was from the, oh no, the rock climbing thing was something different, I think. No, that
Yeah,
was
that was
the,
different. Yeah, that
yeah,
was
that was the
belay
Are You
on.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
But,
ready? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah. But they both tie in, I think so. And,
Oh, they both well different. Yeah, different parts of my life, but yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I think that's the most important thing, though, is 2025, knowing that you can and you should and you are in control. And
Hmm.
that's
And you
where,
will. Yeah.
yeah, and you will.
Be a
Absolutely.
part. Stay in. I mean, the
Yeah.
amount that you have for people,
Yeah. Oh my God. It's crazy. And that's,
just go be a part of what Sean has going for you. You will
yeah,
have success. Like
it's
you will.
true. Yeah. That's where it's funny, I can see just as much as we talk about the type of customers you want at your shop, where it's like, do you want the customer that's gonna, be picky? Do you want the customer that's gonna this and that tie up your shop for 4 days, or do you want to pump up the volume? I noticed the same thing with the detailing side, where I'll see some people that were like, "Oh yeah, I tried OrbisX, but it was too complicated," and I'm just like, "You lazy sack of shit! Like, are you serious? It's crazy. And here's how I know it's bullshit. One of my staff members, Joe, I love you. I've mentioned this many times before, but he literally has brain damage. Brain damage. Our government in our country said he cannot work a traditional job. We took him in because he's a good friend of one of our managers. And I said, we'll help him out, give him a job, da 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 da, this and that, and we'll take him on, no problem. He's not good with technology though. He got anyway, he got brutally attacked like 20 years ago now, something like that. But he just can't do certain things. He's a little slower with certain things, like taking on when he's learning something new. And he picked up OrbisX in no time, and he was what we based a lot of our interface around, because I was like, if Joe can do it, anyone can do it, kind of thing. It's so simple, but it's a testament to people that don't want to put any work in. They're like, oh, can you please spoon feed me instead? And those are the guys that in 2025 they're gonna feel the pain. And I've seen some of them already where even in a month they posted something like, oh yeah, what software should I use? And people are like, OrbisX for sure. And they're like, I tried it, it was a little too complicated. A month later, I see them posting on someone else's post where someone was sharing their big numbers that they had and stuff. And they're like, oh my God, can you please teach me? My shop is really slow right now. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's like, it is what it is. It's a personality trait. That's who you are, and which is fine. No shade. Do your thing. Might be better if you subcontract for another shop or find a job. But that being said, Orbis X is it's one of those things where the magic is in what it can do for those that can do.
Absolutely.
And so you
So
got to put
good.
that work in. So 2025, man, crush it. Power's in your hands, man. Absolutely.
Well, here's
So,
to 25, guys. Wish everybody the
hallelujah,
greatest
man.
success.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Mm. Got a glass I got from my Christmas there, 1984, when I was born. Yeah. I don't know what the rest says. Well, it says
Vintage.
vintage. That's not nice. 1984 is vintage? Fuck. Age to perfection. I never read this. I just saw the 1984 part and got excited, but damn, age to perfection.
All right, I'm gonna take my on the rocks and head out. You ever drink old
Oh,
fashions?
shit. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like this. This is
I like old fashions when they're done well.
and
Sometimes
this one
they're,
does pretty well. They use Knob Creek, and
oh,
it's
nice.
one of the new ones that does all the mixed drinks already in a
Oh,
bottle. So
yeah.
on the
Beautiful.
rocks, yeah,
Just
old
ready to
fashioned.
go.
So
Beautiful. I went on the rocks today too. Yeah. I got my little bottle of Don Julio. Yeah. Decided tequila today. That's what I'm going with. But yeah, gets me feeling right.
well, enjoy your
But,
night. Happy
yeah,
New Year's to
me
everybody,
too.
and
Happy New Year's, everybody.
see you next year, huh?
Yeah. See you in 2025. Let's crush it. All right. Cheers, man. See ya.